What's up, fellow Lords Gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Fight. Today I got some interesting news for you, basically summed up into villain update. So surprisingly, we are going to get T3 Infinity Ultron this Tuesday as well. Yeah, and that's the another surprise is that this is going to be an update that is going to happen this Tuesday. So we've basically rolled into 3 updates in 1 month, which is awesome. I think everybody is going to be particularly happy in the fact that we've gotten Ultron and Thanos all in the same month. Along with the Adam Warlock, the Gamora and Drax updates. This is just amazing. So I guess we were all crying tears for no reason because Netmarble had a plan. At least Marvel Future Fight development team had a plan. So that's pretty that's pretty awesome. And just that fact, the update basically, on Twitter they basically made the post over here, and it was, what if the Avengers were unable to defeat the ultimate AI? Infinity Ultron, inspired by Marvel and Studios' What If, extends his reach to the V75 update. So if you haven't had a clue about who Infinity Ultron is basically Ultron who has obtained all 6 of the Infinity Stones. This should be really, really ridiculous. This should be amazing. I'm praying to God that both he and Thanos are going to be, Omega tier level threats in this game. It would be really nice to see Thanos return, because old King Thanos is obviously supposed to be the guy that beats Ultron. He's supposed to be the guy that beats every hero, every villain in the likes of the MCU. So I'm hoping with beyond hope that he is going to be that damn good. Because he's really not that good. Really not that good now. If you really wanted to know, Ultron's not like the powerhouse that you would think that he is. So let's take a look at this character right now anyways real quick, because it'll be really nice to see him. I mean, Thanos has been a powerhouse in this game, but he's been a powerhouse for years inside this game, but Ultron's never been that good. Matter of fact, you can look at the uniforms, which is crazy enough to say that he has actually received uniforms in this game. They just have been not noteworthy at all in the slightest. This was my favorite look for him. He had the Avengers Age of Ultron uniform, and he had the Mark III uniform. So depending on what you saw, this was basically my favorite uniform that he had. So we'll take a look at this basically, because the patch details are also there for the What If uniform. So basically with this, he's going to have increased chain hit damage by 15% when attacking. He's going to have increased basic damage by 40% when attacking machine characters without skills. I don't know what the hell that means. When attacking machine characters without skills, yeah, I'm a little bewildered by that. I don't know what the hell that means. And then we can take a look at some of his skills that he has inside here. Let's take a look at those, because I think that'd be the better thing to do. Like, it's weird to try to define some of his stuff. So like what they were talking about there. So his leadership ability, he was only getting 24% now. This is going to be a 55% basic attack. So that's nearly double, well, more than double what he had before. Then we had Extinction of Mankind is going to be his new tier 1 passive. So if you were comparing that to the reactivate, it's going to basically have these are 2 new passives that he has. So he's getting a Instinct of Mankind passive, which is critical damage increase by 50%, 30% increase of HP, and increased guaranteed critical rate by 30%. That is a lot. His tier 2 that he has is also changed, right? Thank God he's no longer summoning characters. Ignore target's dodge rate. It's going to be called Suppression Order. Ignore target's dodge rate by 40%, increase skill damage by 35%, and increases bonus damage by 25%. Decrease the basic damage received by 40%. So this is going to be a whole new 2 passives for him, and they definitely look set to like make him a significant powerhouse. I mean, he should definitely be one-shotting Null World Boss Legend inside here with ignore target's dodge rate by 40%. That's crazy, because you got to imagine that his leadership is now going to apply to technokinetic allies. So any of the allies that basically, whether they are villain or, you know, hero, should benefit from him being on a leadership team. So you could probably put him together with other really good characters like Iron Man and stuff like that, and just really boost him up a lot. So I'm looking forward to playing with this character, mostly because Infinity, he's not like a favorite character of mine. I always thought he was like a dopey, you know, character anyways, but nice to see him getting some shine. So let's jump into his skills real quick, okay? Because his skills, he's got a complete rework down of his skills. Basically, it looks like his first level skill that he has here is going to be solar energy. Not really much to talk about there. 30% burn damage every 1 second. Cool. Dimensional manipulation is going to be his new second. He gets a stun on that skill for 3 seconds with a 100% chance for immunity to all damage for 2 seconds, which is relatively low. This is like, seems like it's going to be an opening skill. That's it, really. But we'll have to see how the animation plays out and looks. Infinity Blast is going to be his third. Anything is better than these abilities he has right now. It applies to enemies. I hate seeing this. I'd rather just not see it at all. But he's going to deal 30% bleed damage. And then he has a true damage dealt accumulation on this skill. 0.5% increase all basic attacks, so way better than what he's currently has. His fourth skill, Pierce of Despair, is going to have time freezing on it. Yes, so a la Doctor Strange, he's going to have time freezing. Adam Warlock should be immune to this since he's supposed to have time freeze manipulation or invulnerability. Then we have paralysis, decrease all basic defenses for a total of 50%, and then he gets. Thank God they didn't put this on a artifact, but he's gonna get the 30% recovery of max HP. That's good, and invincibility on his Pierce of Despair skill. So you can see the setup here is pretty much already there. Next up, we've got his fourth skill, which is Pierce of Despair. It's gonna be his applies to. Just read that one off, excuse me. His fifth skill is going to be Doomsday Blow, which is going okay, this one is 30% burn damage, bind, and then it has a frenzy buff for 35, 1, and 20. So he's got a lot of crit rate damage coming in here. That's not bad, actually. It's not bad at all. So we probably got something leading into maybe 4-5-3. Yeah, maybe 4-5-3, depending on how those skills play out. I'm dying to see what the rotation on these skills look. Next up, we got Thanos, right? Thanos has also got his uniform incoming. I'm hoping beyond hope that, you know, he receives some buffs inside of here that are really going to just like kind of, you know, impact him and make him at the top of the board. Like, that's my hope. I think a lot of people will be particularly mad, though, if Thanos ends up panning out to be better than Ultron, but you know, we'll see what the fuck they have to say. I really don't care. I really want a good Thanos. When we look at the comic book history, Thanos has definitely been one of those, you know, universal level threats that is always supposed to be universal. So let's take a look at what he's got inside it. So basically, to start off with, his first uniform effect is going to be completely different than what he has on his current uniform. So this is looking like it is really going to change some stuff inside here. Let's see what he's got here. So on his uniform effect now, he's going to have an increased additional pierce damage by 5%. That's nice. I like to see that. He's also going to have a decreased basic damage received by 50%. His activation rate is when HP is below 30%, he applies to self. He gets a 70% recovery of max HP. Wow. So that's good, because before he was at this uniform, you can see he was getting a decreased basic damage received by 20%, but now it's going to be 50%. So we essentially lose the basic damage dealt to superheroes by 20% and superhero faction by 20%, and decrease basic damage. Well, no, it's not a change here then, because they basically envelop these two so that way it's against all targets now, because it's a decreased basic damage received by 50%. So it's essentially these two have been put into one, and we don't get necessary. I guess if you increase the account for the additional pierce damage, they've just basically reworded the skill but he also gets the recovery of max HP. He was already a tank, so this should make him more of a tank, hopefully. All right, let's take a look at his skills. So on his skills, we'll start out with his ultimate skill, is what they have here, his Endless Void. Is this changing anything? And from what I can see, it just doesn't look like there's anything that's changing. No, actually he gets a 10% increase for the chance to penetrate, so it goes from 80 to 90. Okay, little buff there. He also gets the increased basic damage increase now to 100% for one attack, so definitely a boost there. Definitely, yeah, that definitely looks like a boost there. Next up, we look at his Matter Fraction Leadership. It still applies to all villain allies, cool. But then we get remove all debuffs. Okay, remove all debuffs, 12-second cooldown, increase all basic attacks by 25%, increase all basic defenses by 25%. I'm a little confused right now. Yeah, I have to say I'm a little confused now, because this is essentially a now I don't see a cooldown time on this one, but his new one's gonna have a cooldown time of 20 seconds, and yeah, so this is when he's debuffed. Oh, okay, I'm getting it now. The reason why I was confused, because he's going from 36 to 25 on each of his, but I guess maybe they're accounting for that, because now you're not going to be able to debuff him, because as soon as the activation rate is, as soon as he's debuffed, he's going to remove all debuffs every 12 seconds. So you're going to have to stack debuffs on him in order to. You can't even do that. We'll have to see, because it's going to be for every 12 seconds or whatever. So we'll have to see how that plays out. His Mad Titan passive, let's see what he's getting here. This one right now is it applies to self, and he's basically having the activation rate increases basic damage dealt to superhero faction by 30%. Okay, so they basically move that that 30% superhero damage that we had at the top here. So this is definitely a boost for him in terms of power. Activation. This is a decrease though, because now he's getting applies to self 20% recovery of max HP. Okay, I can see why here. So while he doesn't have the 100% chance to immunity for damage that happens, this one has a cooldown time of 10 seconds, but the new skill Mad Titan passive will have a cooldown time every 2 seconds. So yeah, wow. They've definitely played around with his skills and moved a lot of things around, and so it's a little it's a little weird inside there. So his tier 2 passive is no longer going to be called Eternal Deviant. It is now going to be called Space Throne, and he's going to increase skill damage by 16% and increase bonus damage by 40%. So a slight boost there. He's increasing damage dealt to targets with debuff removal as an instinct effect by 80%. Okay, seems situational, so I don't really necessarily like it. But increases damage dealt to targets, remove all debuff effects by 80%. This is interesting. This is really interesting. I'm like, they've gotten really wordy and playful with his skills. Titan Slab is now going to be called Strike of Despair. We get increased skill damage by 16% and an increased bonus damage by 40%. Then we get a increased damage dealt to targets with, excuse me, I'm reading wrong goddamn thing. So he's getting a 30% burn damage every 1 second, and it's a VPAD skill. Dying to see what this is going to look like, because we can see what Titan Slab is doing here. Removes all buffs from targets, paralyze, invincible, stun, bind, everything's on this skill. He's losing a lot of that, not to mention he's losing about 2% of that physical attack, because he's going from 97 to 95, and now this skill just looks like a pretty vanilla one skill from here. Not that you were using one with Thanos very much anyways, but still, nevertheless. Blade Cyclone is now going to be called Universe Splitter. Applies to enemies, stun, and removes all buffs from targets. So basically now we've got the skill that was here, the removes all buffs, is not going to be on his first skill. is going to be on his second skill. You see, they've gotten really playful with his skills inside here, really playful. He also had, so the stun is over here as well on Blade Cyclone for 3 seconds instead of the 1 second that it was there previously. And then it gets a physical damage increase of 115. So a lot of the skills essentially being moved over to the 2 from the 1 skill. Gonna be interesting because they're being playful with his skills. A lot of things are being moved from other skill locations to here. Then we get Warlord Slash is now going to be called Ruler's Command. Hate to see this, 30% bleed damage. He gets a frenzy buff of increase all basic attacks and defenses by 25, 10, and 30. So a slight bonus there. Like, I mean, not so slight that you're like, yeah, whatever, but it's a slight bonus. We'll have to see how this works out. Cooldown time on that one is still 13 seconds, so we'll have to see how they work out. His 4th skill inside here is going to be called Titan's Blast. So from Warlord's Assault to Titan's Blast. So he's essentially getting enables attacking who are activated ignore targeting. So his ignore targeting is now going to be on his 4th skill. So this is great. He's going to deal burn damage and bleed damage for 30%. Nobody cares about the bleed damage. He gets stun and fracture 3 and 5 seconds. So that fracture that you saw on Warlord's Assault is actually getting a decrease from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. And then he applies to self 80% chance to penetrate with super armor and barrier, which basically is a skill that was on his 4th. So you see that 80% that 70% chance basically got moved to his 4th, and it's going to be an 80% chance there. Then he also has the Invincible, so that's another thing that was removed from another skill and then put on here. And Invincible, he's going to have an immunity to all debuffs for 3 seconds on here on a cooldown of 3 seconds. And then energy damage is going to be 102. So we'll have to see how he plays out, man. Like, as I'm reading through his skills, it's like really weird reading them, because it's like a lot of skills are basically being playfully moved around from all other targets. So it's going to be interesting. Here we go. This is the interesting tell-all for his character. Is basically he applies to all enemies. His Obsidian Bombardment is going to be his new 5th skill, and it's basically going to be dealing 30% bleed damage. He has Fear for 4 seconds, Incapacitation for 1 second. He's going to decrease all basic defenses for a buff of 60%, and then he applies to self. He's going to increase all basic attacks. He's going to increase all basic attacks by 35%, excluding bosses. He's going to ignore enemies' damage decrease by 30%. So excluding bosses, that should let you know something. Now, what would make me the most happy about Thanos is that if they came in and this character was playable inside of PvE and PvP. Right now, Thanos is he's never been good at PvP, so it'd be great to see him actually be able to play PvE. Now, what we have here is Ultron's T3 skill. Inside here, it looks pretty generic if you had to ask me in terms of like PvP skills. I like the Ultron head wall, but we've seen this skill from like not Adam Warlock, Sentry and Blue Marvel essentially is the same, and it's a very generic basic, ultimate skill. Rage of Ultron, stun for 3 seconds, 70% penetration, and then Invincible and increased basic damage for 100. So it's very sensible, right? And I mean, it's generic. We have the new Thanos patch, Dark Titan Command level 4, increases an instant critical rate by 14. This is kind of cool because, looking at the exclusive patch, it doesn't see, and you notice that it says February additional patch exclusive passive skill artifact is where we're going to be able to get that from. It's pretty cool. I'm actually liking it. And then we got the uniform collection to see that this was something that they always planned. We might have been in an error, but this was something they always had planned, because we see the uniform collection here with all of them in there. Not to say that was going to be essentially a difficulty in terms of that going, but that's cool. I'm kind of happy to see that for both characters. We'll finish this out with some of the events that are going to be happening here. We've got the Ultron upgrade chests. To be honest with you, these are like chests that we always get like $2.99, $3.99, $9.99, so you can buy them basically for $30 or something like that. I don't know very many players are going to need to dig in for Ultron bios. You can get those from the Dimension store, and those are most likely what you're going to get, that and Black Antimatter. The rest of these would be nice if the rates were a little bit higher, but you tend not to get those. You tend to just get the biometrics and stuff like that. So if you need bios, then go ahead. But realistically, the cool part about these chests inside of Marvel Future Fight, especially coming from playing Marvel Future Revolution, is that you're basically paying for the crystals, and that the rewards inside here are basically like rewards. So you're paying for the crystals, you get these rewards, so they're like just additional bonus rewards that you get, right? That's nice inside there. We also have the Thanos upgrade pack inside here, right? Special package would be on sale. So basically, what are we getting? It's wow, Thanos upgrade pack. So obviously, who is this going to be targeted at? This is going to be targeted at players who want to really push for Thanos really hard. My suggestion to you is avoid this like the plague. Now, you're really paying for the crystals and the potential realization ticket, because these bios, that's not going to be enough for you to level up Thanos. And this gold, along with these Titan component packs, I'm going to be honest with you guys, these are drops in the bucket for what you need to do in order to level up Thanos. If you don't have him at T3 already, you're probably going to need to take some time. Like, it took me probably the better part of 2 months to level up Thanos correctly as a beginning player. Like, when I jumped into the game and we finally got him, it took me a while. It took me a little bit. So I wouldn't necessarily say, you know, if you got the money, get ahead. You're getting 8,000 crystals and a potential specialization realization ticket. I think most players probably already have Thanos realized, so there's not going to be a whole group, a whole large segment of players at this point really looking for this, unless they're new players. So it's a little weird sell by Netmarble. It doesn't really show foresight, unless maybe they got access to numbers that I don't have that says that there's far more new players and we think, I really like this stuff. This is pretty dope looking art and marketing art there. So we got the supervillain update celebration, since that's what this is. Clearly T3 Ultron and Obsidian King Thanos is what they call him. So he's not old King Thanos like I thought he would be. He's Obsidian King Thanos, right? So we've basically got a number of events going on. New uniform options are going to be 40% off. This is really cool for us to take a look at. Oh, fuck me. So I say fuck me as soon as I see that, because I'm looking at Thanos, and this is going to rip people. Like, I mean, it's going to rip people, because essentially you've got Crescent, who is a paywall character. To have her light serious armor, you are going to literally have to, you know, it's going to cost you in order to level up her uniform, because she's not a free-to-play character. So you're not going to be leveling her up in very many ways other than the mega upgrade bios and stuff like that. So this is a tough one. Same thing for Odin inside here. It's not, you know, uniform. At least he's a T2, so it is what it is. Storm, War Machine, and Red Guardian, these are not bad uniform options. Even, to be honest with you, the Crescent Light Serious Armor and Odin, these aren't bad options realistically, from a perspective of if you are playing that character, then most likely you have this, especially Odin. Most people are going to have an Odin and they're going to have this uniform. Same thing for Storm, War Machine, and Red Guardian. Crescent, I've kind of like, I didn't level up the character. I don't really purchase the uniforms for her, so I'm gonna now I have to invest in her. So it's a smart part by Netmarble from a marketing standpoint, because you give me this character that I probably would otherwise just continue to ignore, but at least you give me her newest uniform. So now I have a reason to just go level up that character's uniform at the very least. Like, my Thanos needs to be my Thanos, so I will go do that. Then for Ultron, at least we have something good here. The one that you miss out on the most is Carnage, because he is an exclusive character. So in order to level his uniform up, you're going to have a mega uniform upgrade ticket. Otherwise, you're paying. The other ones are pretty free to play friendly. And Mr. Fantastic. Oh, shoot. I didn't notice that over there. That is a terrible uniform option. So the Iron Man team suit, why are we going so far back? I don't know. Jesus Christ, that's bad. Red Hulk symbiote, that's not a bad uniform. The Mr. Fantastic Future Foundation, I don't know why they went for this one either, because that's a uniform that people are probably not going to be using, and especially this uniform, Emma Frost Marvel Now. It's like they dug into the tank for that uniform. So this one's pretty bad, if I had to be honest. This one's pretty bad. Yeah, Ultron's uniforms options are pretty bad in here, from Carnage to Iron Man to Mr. Fantastic and Emma Frost. The only good one in here is Red Hulk Symbiote of Vengeance. It's his best uniform that he has. Yeah, this is bad. I'll have to say this is bad, because Mr. Fantastic, you've got his villain uniform. That's going to be the uniform that you want to have equipped. You're going back, I think, 2 uniforms for his future foundation, and Emma Frost, you're going back 2 uniforms, and you can't even obtain her because she's an exclusive character. So 2 characters that you essentially have to pay for, and then 2 characters who are useless uniforms that, unless you've been playing, you're probably not leveled up these uniforms. So out of there, 1 good uniform option. Pretty bad for Infinity Ultron. But I guess, you know, they had to get away. If you, like, from a marketing standpoint, you have to start respecting some things, because they have to get some kind of money out of you for this character, and he's a free-to-play friendly option, meaning that everybody's going to be able to level him up 100% free to play. I think one of the things I missed out on telling you guys was his universal So we also have his hero growth bonus missions that are going on. Those are always fine, nothing really to write home about. But the gold bonus missions are also coming, you know, 5-star rank up tickets. I really wish they would change these things, because I think Norn Stones of Chaos, they're not as, you know, highly sought after as you want. I wish they would change those. Maybe like a uniform, you know, not a mega rank up or anything, but at least a uniform something. The special 7-day check-in event is good enough for you to get some items. And then they have Event World Boss. I actually like when an Event World Boss comes up, because it gives you another mode that I actually enjoy playing. Rank 1 Black Antimatter and Norn Stones of Chaos is gift surprises, a character ranking event for Ultron. 50% off artifact unequipped costs. I don't really know anybody that's equipping artifacts, let alone that would want to pay 50% to unequip them. Just trash them. Like, to be honest with you, like, at this point in the game, you just trash them. Like, it's not like you're getting a better, you know, artifact or whatever. So that event is a little weird, and we'll see what it is. Along with that, we have the hero package, the Ultron pack, so you can purchase Ultron at tier 2 for 6-star. I can't tell you that this is really a worth it event for 2,500 crystals. Pretty easy to obtain Ultron bios. 6-star Thanos, you can see what I'm telling you here by his expensive. I gonna tell you, this may be worth it. Like, I would have to go back to the numbers and look at what it costs to get Thanos from tier 1 just to tier 2 along with a 6-star. But I mean, not from tier 1, because he was never tier 1, but tier 2 all the way up to a 6-star. I don't know. I have to go back and do the numbers, but it might be worth it. Or you can just purchase tier. This is cool. I like this, because you notice you can purchase a tier 2 1-star Thanos, and they made this completely free to play. Congratulations, Netmarble, because you can get it for 2,600 gold. 2.6 million gold. So free to play players, there you go. It's going to be one of those things to get. And then if you like, I can tell you right now, his cost to get to 6-star is pretty expensive. So this 7,300 crystals may be worth it if you're really looking at it, because the amount of BAM, the amount of biometrics, the amount, like, it's a ridiculous cost to level up Thanos. Trust me, he was a really expensive level. So if you're a new player and you want him, this may be a good way to get him if you have the funds for that. And then they have the Mad Titan relay packs. I never participate in these. These are always the same thing. This is a whale bonanza for extreme and a way for them to get out there. I would probably participate in this, if I'm being honest with you, because I love Marvel Future Fight so much, and I played it for so long. I would probably participate this if they change the rewards. I mean, essentially, you're paying for the crystals along the way, and then getting some really beneficial package. The thing I hate about these is like, you know, the Mad Titan relay pack number 6 has really good rewards inside of it. 15,000 crystals for $100, and then you're looking at getting the Titan components, as a dimension, and all of these. Those are really good, but along the way you hit some other packs that you're like, oh, like, I gotta go through pack number 5 to get 11,000 crystals. Still not too bad, but you know, when you look at these right here, like the $49.99 one and the $29.99, I'm like, Jesus, like, yeah, the $4.99 one, you're just paying for the crystals, whatever. The $9.99 one, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm still just paying for the crystals or whatever. But when you get to number 3 and number 4, you're kind of like, these rewards here, along with the crystals, especially the premium hero chest, I'm like, can you please change that? Like, I would, to be honest with you, I would prefer maybe like an exclusive biometric selector, exclusive X gene selector or something like that, instead of a premium hero chest. It was like weird. I mean, even when you consider you're getting 100 boost points inside here, I'm like, really, bro? Really? So I don't know, it's weird. I mean, the tier 2 and mega advancement tickets, you know, doesn't have the allure that it used to have for me. So, but you know, if you're a whale, you know, good sale for you. Now here goes the thing about these events, especially one like these, is that we do still have the 7-year anniversary event coming up in April, so might not want to purchase these either way. But that about does it, guys. I know that was a long video. I thank you for sticking around with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you're looking forward to it as much as I am. Until next time, guys, peace.